Caffeine is kicking in. Okay. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Colin and I'm a non-binary scientist and a lover of makeup. And today I'm going to be doing a review of the Lethal Is Dead palette from Lethal Cosmetics and Theresa Is Dead. This collab came out about a month ago and is currently sold out, but they are doing a pre-order for another launch. So the pre-order ship date is August 30th. Today is August 1st, so there's still about a month left. The palette retails for $36, $37, and is this really pretty 9-pan palette. So you've got some blues, some greens, and these more pinky tones, pink purples. It also came with 3 gel eyeliners, which I had not tried before this collection. So there was Spectre in this dark blue, Entity, which is this gray, and then Ectoplasm, which is this really pretty lime green. I love Lethal Cosmetics. They're one of my favorite brands. I have probably 60 of their single shadows right now, in a combination of a couple build your own palettes or palettes and then just a palette of singles, including now these 9. I've already done a few looks with this and I will insert at least one of them here that I posted to Instagram. The other days that I've been using this, I've been lazy and I've mostly just been doing Spectre, the dark blue liner, on my lash line and mascara, and then maybe Ancient Evil, which is this pretty rose gold shimmer, or Straight to VHS, which is this yellowy white shimmer, on my inner corner, and called it a day just because it's been really hot here in Seattle and I haven't wanted to wear a lot of makeup or felt like spending the time to do my makeup. But I've had an idea in my mind that's involving the blues and this really pretty teal shade, so I'm going to do that today. And also use the Ectoplasm liner. So I've already did my brows, which is just the Mayebelline brow pencil in soft brown and some NYX brow glue, and I already primed my eyes with my Urban Decay eye primer. So far that's the only primer I really like. I've tried the NYX one and it was decent, and I've tried the Sigma eye primer and I liked the way shadows performed on it, but I noticed that like they would disappear around here partway through the day, so I've just been sticking with the Urban Decay. But if anybody has suggestions for other ones I should try, let me know, because the Urban Decay isn't cheap. But I do know there are more expensive ones. So, to start, I'm going to go into Watery Grave, which is this nice light periwinkle shade. And I'm going to tap into that and tap off the excess. I love Lethal's mattes. They are, I think, my favorite matte formula. And their shimmers are really pretty. They're one of my favorite shimmers. I know some people don't like their shimmers that much, but I've never had any issue and I love them. They're honestly one of my favorite brands, if not my favorite brand. And when I saw Theresa Is Dead was doing a collab with them, it made perfect sense, and I knew I of course was gonna get it because whatever colors they were gonna be great. So I'm gonna run Watery Grave through my crease on both eyes as my transition. So that was a couple dips into Watery Grave. I like Lethal shadows. They're a little powdery, but I like that in a shadow. It makes them easier to blend. But they're also really pigmented, so it doesn't take much. And even with this really pale blue shade, it only took 2 dips really to get a decent amount of color on my lid, and they basically blend themselves, which I love. So because I have slightly hooded eyes, I always like to look straight ahead and make sure that the transition shade goes high enough without going too high to be, you know, in my eyebrow. And if anybody's wondering, my little mirror here is the double-sided mirror from Kimchi, the drag queen's makeup brand. I love this little compact. It's got a 10 times mirror and a regular mirror, and it works really well. So I put Watery Grave on with a Sigma E38 diffused crease brush. I really love this one. It's nice and flimsy and soft, so it gives a great diffused wash of color, especially to start. Next I'm going to go into Predator, which is that dark blue, and I'm putting that on my Sigma E27 detailed blending brush. And I'm going to put that on the outer quarter and into the crease of it. So for my dark shades on the outer corner, I like to kind of stamp into the direction and shape that I want for that lifted eye. And then once I have a little bit of shadow there, I blend it out. So I'm just going to do that to both eyes. So I sometimes have problems with shadows wanting to stick correctly right here. That has nothing to do with the shadows, that's just my eye. That one spot just doesn't like to cooperate. So now that I have Predator brushed all over, I'm going to go back into Watery Grave on my E38 and diffuse the two, blend the two together, and make sure the edge is nice. Okay, so now that the blue is blended all over my eyes, I'm going to go in with Ectoplasm, which is that really bright green, acid green eyeliner, and I'm going to cut my crease with a little bit of that. And then once I have Ectoplasm down and my crease is cut with that eyeliner, I'm going to go into Straight to VHS, which is this yellow shimmer. Theresa described it as a yellow with a white shift. And it doesn't really translate to camera very well, but it is really pretty and it makes it just the most bright yellow. So I'm just gonna, while the eyeliner is still tacky and hasn't fully dried, I'm gonna pack Straight to VHS all over it and then repeat it on the other eye. Okay, so now that the crease is cut and I've packed straight to VHS all over, in person it's got a very vibrant yellow shine. It's probably not going to show up on camera. I did get a little bit of fallout from straight to VHS, but not too much, and nothing from the other shadows. So I'm just going to wipe away that little bit of a sparkle on my nose, and I'm going to do my base. And this is why I almost always do my base first, unless I'm doing an all matte look or something I know won't leave any kind of fallout. So for primer today, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Ultra Glow Face Primer. I really like this. I have tried a few face primers and I haven't really loved the ones I've used that are more of a creamy dimethicone kind of feeling, like the e.l.f. Putty Primer that everybody seems to love. That just made my face feel disgusting, and it felt like it was just sitting on my nose and I could just feel everything. It just made everything feel greasy. This is a gel-like consistency, and I really like that. I also prefer like a gel moisturizer, so I'm not surprised that I would prefer a gel primer. And for foundation today, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop in shade 11. I've tried some other foundations and some other skin tints, and so far this is my favorite. I love it. It looks just like my skin. It blends in perfectly. And the shade is such a good match because it's kind of sheer that I don't even need to put it on my forehead. It just evens out the rest of my face, and I don't have to worry about any kind of creasing on my forehead in these forehead lines. So I'm just going to tap a little bit of that all over and buff that in with my Sigma Airbrush Kabuki, which is the F85. So I like to tap my foundation in with the brush a little bit and then kind of swirl and make sure there aren't any brush strokes. And for concealer today, I'm going to be using my Kosas Revealer Concealer. I have the shade 6, which is a nice medium olive, and I really like this that it also has an eye brightener in it. And then I'm going to blend that in with my Rare Beauty concealer brush. I also will use my fingers a lot. I just don't feel like doing that today. And to set that concealer, I'm going to use the Kosas Cloud Set in the shade Comfy, which is their medium. I think medium neutral. And I just do a tiny bit on a fluffy, this is a tapered cheek brush from Sigma, but any kind of fluffy brush works. So now for the lower lash line, I'm going to take this little stubby packer brush. This is a Morphe 508. I don't have very many Morphe brushes, but this one works pretty well. It's nice and dense and small. And I'm going to take Creature Feature, which is that teal. I'm going to pack that all over my lower lash line, and then I'm going to blend that out with the green shade in the middle, Body Snatched. And once that's blended out, I'm gonna go back into Predator, which is the dark blue, and I'm just gonna pack that on the outer corner again, just to deepen it back up, and then connect it down a little bit. And now that that's re-intensified on the outer corner. I'm going to take a little bit on that same little packing brush and bring it down just a little bit to connect the teal with the dark blue. This is always the point in my eye makeup where I feel like I look insane, but I just have to know that once I add mascara and all of that, it'll look fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my base. For bronzer, I'm going to use the Heat Spell from Hauslabs in the shade Hot Earth. This is my go-to bronzer right now, and you can definitely tell that I've hit a large pan on it in fairly reasonable amount of time. So even though I don't have foundation on my forehead, I do like to bronze the high points of my forehead and then a little bit out here to help sculpt my face. So I like to tap my bronzer on lightly and then blend. This is with a Sigma powder slash blush brush. I can talk. This is an F10. Move my hair out of the way. I don't really like to contour my nose, but I'll take the same bronzer on a small, fluffy face brush. This is a Sigma small contour brush. This is what I tend to use for cream products, but I'll also use it for my nose, and I'll just dust a little bit on either side, just to add some warmth there without doing a true contour. And then for blush today, I'm going to be using the Trixie Cosmetics Mod About You palette. This is honestly my favorite blush palette that I have, / favorite blush. I'm a sucker for oranges. So I'm going to use the same brush I used for bronzer, which is that F10. And I'm going to go into Plush Bunny, which is the middle lighter orange shade. And I like to place my blush just above where I put the bronzer to kind of connect everything together and lift my face. A little bit on the tip of my nose, or bridge of my nose, I should say. And then for highlighter, I'm going to be using the Kaleidos Solar Sailor, which is the yellow highlighter. And I'm just putting that on this floppy, fluffy brush. I'm going to put that on the high points of my cheekbones, brow bone, and my inner corner. And then for the bridge of my nose, I'm going to take a little bit of the highlighter Gleamsicle from that Trixie palette because it's a little more neutral and natural looking, and rub that right here. And I find the combination of a light natural highlight here and a little bit of bronzer brushed evenly over the sides kind of shapes my nose without being overly contoured or fake looking. And then I'll take the same brush I used for my blush and bronzer, too many B's, and I just like to go over all of that just to make sure it's all blended evenly together and I don't have any harsh highlighter line. Okay. So I'm going to set my face with my Milk Hydro Grip setting spray. I really like the way this makes my face look with that like dewy, fresh look. I don't think it sets my makeup very well. I feel like my Urban Decay setting spray sets better, but is a little more matte. So I'm gonna try the Urban Decay Glow one soon, but the last time I went to Sephora, they were out, so I wasn't able to get it. Okay, and I'm gonna go off camera to add some eyeliner and mascara and such, and I'll be back. Okay, and this is the finished look. I went ahead and added my Hauslabs eyeliner in Punk, the liquid eyeliner. It's my favorite eyeliner I've tried. I've tried a few others from the drugstore and they just did not work for me. It's the only one that's really worked, and I am obsessed. And then I added, in my waterline, I put a Colourpop cream gel liner in the shade Subzero. It's a sparkly yellow that I thought would go well with the green and yellow on the lid. And then for lip, I put on Terra in the Kaleidos lip clays. These are amazing. I bought both bundles. Do not regret it. This is my favorite shade. It's a nice terracotta shade, which is my go-to if I'm wearing a nude and not a red or an orange, because it's kind of an orangey nude. And these are so comfortable. They last for hours, if not all day. Even with eating, they don't really fade that well, and they're comfortable. They don't transfer, but they aren't drying, and I love them. I hope they come up with more shades, and I really hope they make them a permanent part of their inventory and start selling them individually and not just in the bundles, because buying 4 at once, especially if you don't need all the shades, is a lot. So I also went ahead and added Solar Sailor to the inner corner just to round out the look. So this is the finished look. I also added my Urban Decay mascara in Perversion, and the lashes are from House of Lashes. They're the iconic lights. And I love this palette. I am really happy for Theresa. I'm really glad she got this opportunity. I love Lethal. She seems like a wonderful person. She's one of my favorite people to watch here on YouTube. So if you are interested in this, like I said at the beginning, it is restocking. They're doing a pre-order for August 30th, so you have a few more weeks before it would start shipping. But I definitely think it's worth it. And even if you aren't gonna go bold like this, there's definitely been days that I just put The Final Girl and Ancient Evil on my lid, or bronzer and Ancient Evil, or just straight to VHS in my inner corner and some mascara and called it a day. These are wonderful shades. And the eyeliners are great. I haven't used the gray one yet. I'll probably use that more in the fall. Feels like a fall, winter kind of color to wear. Worn the blue a lot. I love it. Works perfectly in my waterline, just like Theresa says. Works great on my lash, doesn't transfer, lasts all day, waterproof. And as you can see, they work really well for a base to cut your crease as well if you want to make a shadow pop. So this took the straight to VHS shade from just a yellow to a green yellow, and I think it works really well with the blues from the palette and the teal. So I love this. I love Lethal. I'm really happy I have this, and congratulations again to Theresa. I hope you like the look, and I will see you all in my next video. Thanks.